Hi there, it's John with Video Trail Reports. I'm here in Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah to hike Fairyland. At only 56 square miles, Bryce Canyon is one of the smallest national parks in the United States. Established in 1928, Bryce Canyon is known for having the most dense collection of hoodoos in the world. Resting on the Colorado Plateau, it is the top step of the Grand Staircase, an eroded uplift that feeds into the Grand Canyon. Here, the plateau has formed a giant amphitheater. Fairyland Loop is the closest trail to the entrance of the park, with the parking lot for Fairyland Point outside the fee station for the park. Since I was staying here a few days, I decided to start from the North Campground and follow the Rim Trail north. This is a great trail that connects from Bryce Point to Fairyland Point, running alongside some of the most renowned viewpoints of the park, and in itself is a great way to see the park. If completing the Fairyland Loop, you'll already see the lower quarter of this trail. Along the ridge, this trail will climb up and over small hills from which you can see the campground and later, the visitor center. Along this 2.5-mile walk over the ridge, there are countless excellent views of the amphitheater and the hoodoos within. Further down the rim, fins and hoodoos come right up to the trail, beckoning you to find your way among them. Just where this 3-part hoodoo is, there's a small, narrow, and precarious trail out to a window in a fin that you can crawl into. Along the rim, the trail oscillates between the forest and the amphitheater's edge. Each time it does, it reveals new hoodoos and a different perspective. Halfway down the Fairyland Loop section of the Rim Trail, it climbs a hill where this sign and accompanying benchmark have been placed. These benchmarks are geological markers that they have turned into a scavenger hunt for a, quote, small reward. From the benchmark, the trail continues downhill toward the northeasternmost section of the amphitheater, and just one of my favorite areas of the park. Around every corner there are new surprises, towering fins and one-of-a-kind hoodoos, and windows in the rock framing the distant horizon. Before you reach Fairyland Point, you will pass the Boat Mesa. This is an obvious landmark for anyone. The trail does not follow the mesa. Instead, it cuts across the top of the plateau, rejoining the rim on the other side of Boat Mesa. As you can see, there are literally miles of this landscape in Bryce Canyon. This is Fairyland Point, with a stunning view of Fairyland. This is the official trailhead of this 8-mile loop, and where most people start their hike. Since I did the rim section first, we are already 1/3 of the way through this trail. If starting here, be advised there are no restrooms or water faucets available, and the park shuttle does not stop here. The only amenities are benches, signs, and a covered table. Back on the trail, you'll follow the rim a bit farther and begin the easy but long descent into the amphitheater. Bryce Canyon is a great national park because, like more popular parks such as Yellowstone and Yosemite, it has the kind of mythic unbelievability to its landscape that excites the imagination and piques curiosity. When you reach the wilderness, this trail will take you directly alongside steep drop-offs and wind between the hoodoos. As you hike further into the Bryce Canyon wilderness, the trail is nowhere near as populated as the rest of the park. Particularly along the rim, it can get downright crowded here sometimes. Come back for the rest of the series, and I'll show you what to expect from some of the more popular overlooks and trails. It's about 3/4 of a mile down to the floor of the amphitheater, and the entire time there are excellent views of the stratification in Boat Mesa. Once on the floor, you'll be walking amongst giants. From below, the hoodoos seem to glow like they're lit from deep inside the rock. Much of the amphitheater's floor has a spacious forest like this. The trail is wide and well graded. Any false spurs I noticed were blocked or lined with rock to define the trail. About halfway through, the trail goes deep into the amphitheater. This open landscape is otherworldly, and at times the trees are the only anchor to the world we live in. The trail does not stay low in the amphitheater, and throughout the loop it will climb up over and across the edges of Boat Mesa. This eastern ridge off of Boat Mesa is my favorite area of the trail. More than any other area, this took my breath away. Here, you will not only be treated to a blockade of hoodoos that surround Boat Mesa, but get a chance to feel like you're part of the landscape. This is also a narrow section with a drop-off on either side. After a few days of hiking around Bryce Canyon and looking down these slopes, I had a very restless night. Every hour or so, I would wake from a nightmare, where I would be watching my camera and walk over an edge. While crossing the southern edge of the mesa, the trail descends into the amphitheater again. Along this section of the trail, there are more opportunities to get well acquainted with the hoodoos if you haven't already, with the trail being cut directly at the base of a few of them. It's this time up close and personal with some of the smaller hoodoos that really gives the best scale. At the bottom of this descent, the trail reaches its lowest point at 7,186 feet from my GPS. Here, there's a small spur out to the left to Tower Bridge. It is not directly obvious when you reach Tower Bridge, but there is a bit of a clearing where the viewing area is, and the formation can be seen toward the wall on the right. Named for its resemblance to the bridge in London, this is a large fin with multiple windows. If doing the loop clockwise, remember to follow the sign to Sunrise Point, crossing over the drainage. If you go the opposite way toward Fairyland Point, it will triple the walking distance back to restrooms and water. Because this section of the trail is in a major drainage, the trail here has been modified several times and can be easy to get off of if you're not paying close attention. It will cross over and run alongside this wash several times, and depending on the weather can be difficult and muddy to cross. In general, it's not wise to hike this park in the rain. In addition to frequent lightning strikes, the soil throughout the park bears the signs of how sticky the mud can get here. I have no idea what's killed this tree or caused it to twist like a spring, but it has always been one of my most memorable landmarks on the hike to Tower Bridge. As you ascend, the trail will switch back several times up the amphitheater, presenting another great view of Boat Mesa. The hike out is much like the hike into the amphitheater, winding and weaving its way through heavily eroded fins and hoodoos. Due to the ample signage at the trailheads, it's easy to identify when you've reached the rim trail. If you'll only be hiking to Tower Bridge, or if you do the loop counterclockwise, you'll want to follow this sign. There's another benchmark here, and additional information to read before you begin. To return to Fairyland Point, or the North Camp like I did, just follow the rim trail back north. One of the benefits of hiking the loop clockwise from Fairyland Point is that you'll go directly past the general store, so you can restock if you've underestimated how much food or water you would need before you finish the 2.5 miles back to the lot outside the park. I hope this video inspired you to get outside, and that you'll share that inspiration with a friend. If you liked this episode of Video Trail Reports, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new episodes are released. Video Trail Reports is also available on all your favorite social media platforms and at videotrailreports.com. Thanks again for watching Video Trail Reports, where we bring the outdoors in.